Hey guys, Thunder E here, and as you know, I'm at Apple Park and they are brand new iPhones. Now there's the new iPhone 15 series and the regular iPhone 15 looks absolutely gorgeous with tons of different colors. But honestly, I think Pro Max cameras and the iPhone 15 Pro set a new standard for cameras on the iPhone line. And this year we have got, yes, periscopic zoom, with the iPhone 15 Pro doing 3x with a 3x telephoto, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max does 5x, which means of course you've got 5x, of course, regular telephoto zoom. Everyone will want to pick up. Pricing starts at, of course, $999 for iPhone 15 Pro, and then $1,199 for the Pro Max. And the Pro Max starts at 256 gigabytes. So what do you think about the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max? Those are the devices for you. Leave your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and always enjoy your entertainment. Now I gotta run.
We've just had the brand new Apple Wonderless event, and at this event we saw the brand new iPhones, including the new iPhone 15 Pro. But how well does the iPhone 15 Pro stack up against, say, like the iPhone 14 Pro and other iPhone models from previous years? What kind of sort of tech upgrades are we getting? So today I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to do you an iPhone 15 Pro versus the iPhone 14 Pro review of specs to let you know what differences that we have this year. And with that, let's get started. So what we have here is we have the iPhone 15 Pro on the left and we have the iPhone 14 Pro on the right. So let's get started. First of all, with the actual iPhone size. So the actual thickness of the iPhone 15 Pro is slightly thicker this year. Mainly this is to do with the battery, as you'll see a bit later on. So it's 8.25 millimeters compared to 7.85 millimeters, but the actual length and width are smaller. So it's now 146.6 millimeters compared to 147.5, and then also 70.6 millimeters compared to 71.5. So overall about 1 millimeter smaller in each direction, apart from the actual thickness. But the weight has also gone down, and this is because of that new titanium that we've got. So it used to be 206 grams, but now we're down to 188 grams, what is far lighter on the iPhone 15 Pro. Then after that, we've actually got the screen resolution. The screens are very similar to what we've got in both of the iPhones here, and the actual resolution here comes in at 2556 by 1179 on both of these models. Then the actual pixels per inch, because of that screen resolution, they're exactly the same. They're 460 pixels per inch on their iPhones this year. There's no changes here whatsoever. Then after this, we've actually got the display refresh rate. We're still pumping out that ProMotion display ever since the iPhone 13 Pro models. So again, what we have here is a 120 Hz refresh rate, and this can go all the way down to 1 Hz and all the way up to 120 Hz on both the models. For the display protection, it was mentioned again that ceramic shield is on the iPhone 15 Pro as well as being on the iPhone 14 Pro, and it's been around since about the iPhone 12 models. Then after this, we actually have the processor, or the CPU. And this is where some of the big changes start to happen. We've now got the brand new A17 Pro chipset inside it. And this is actually made on a 3 nanometer die compared to the sort of 4-5 nanometer die. It's complex on the last A16 chipset. We do still have that 6-core CPU, but it's been rebuilt from the ground up for the A17. And basically what this means is we get 4 efficiency cores and 2 performance cores. And Apple say on average that the actual performance cores give us about 10% more power, but we do have that brand new 6-core GPU as well compared to the 5-core GPU from last year. And that 6-core GPU, what it can actually do is actually do ray tracing for graphics, what is pretty impressive indeed. Then for RAM amounts, this has been confirmed now that there is 8 GB of RAM in the 15 Pro model compared to the 14 Pro, which still does have 6 GB of RAM, and this will really help out definitely with that new chipset. Then for storage amounts, the storages are exactly the same as we've had now for a good couple of years. So they start at 128 GB going all the way up to 1 terabyte in storage for both of these models. Then the battery size, this is where we do see a big gain here. The iPhone 15 Pro actually has an 18% larger battery at 3877 milliamp compared to the 3279 milliamp. But what this basically means for playback time, Apple are saying that the playback of the 15 Pro is identical to the 14 Pro. So this is 23 hours video playback, 75 hours audio playback. But personally, I believe because we've got that new A17 chips and also because that battery is 18% larger, I do think when we do real life testing that personally the 15 Pro probably will have a better battery life than the 14 Pro, in my honest opinion. But then moving over to charging, things have changed here as well. We've actually got a USB-C port, what I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute, but it's compared to the Lightning port, where the actual iPhone 15 Pro model, it can charge up to 28 watts. So you have to put in a 20-watt charger or above, but the maximum it can pump out is a 28 watts. So if you pumped in, say, a 60-watt charger into it, it will still only charge at 28 watts. But the MagSafe charging is exactly the same on both these models since it's ever come out, so that's still 15 watts on both of these. Then moving over to water resistance, nothing has changed here. They're both IP68, 6 meters up to 30 minutes. So that's definitely enough time to rescue your phone out of a pool if you were to drop it in that. Then, like I said, we do have the ports. We have the USB-C port and we have the Lightning port. Now that new charging USB-C port also is a 10 gigabit data port as well, which is really useful. And because we haven't had headphones for a long time, wired ones, there is obviously no sort of any headphone ports on either of these models. Then moving over, we do actually have that brand new action button now, and this is the one that you customize to, put your phone to airplane mode, or start a timer, or all sorts of things like this. This is obviously only on the 15 Pro at the moment, and no other new iPhones have this. Then for Bluetooth technology, we do have a sort of bump up here. We've gone to 5.3 compared to 5.0 on the 14 Pro. Then next of all, we actually have the rear cameras. Now on paper, it doesn't look like much has changed, but trust me, it has changed. We actually have a brand new 48 megapixel wide camera inside it with a bigger sensor. Also at the same time as well, the 12 megapixel ultra wide is also a bit more improved. And then that 12 megapixel telephoto is also a big improvement too this year. And also that's compared to the last year models. We can still record up to 4K video, and also we have that LiDAR sensor. But what this basically means in rear camera features, they are still very similar. So we do actually still have a 15 times digital zoom, quad tone, 3 and 2 times optical zoom, night mode, deep fusion, smart HDR3, Apple Pro RAW, Apple ProRes 60 frames per second for the first time this year compared to just normal 30 frames per second on the normal 14 Pro, and also 60 frames per second cinematic mode too. Then moving over to the selfie cameras, they're both very similar here as well. They're both 12 megapixels, can record up to 4K video, and also have autofocus built in. Then we have the Ultra Band chip, and this is that chip what allows you to say find your phone from a distance. And we have the new version of the U2 chip compared to the U1 chip. The U2 chip works about 3 times the amount, or 3 times the distance compared to the U1 chip. So that's a nice upgrade there. Then after this, we actually have the price, and the shocker this year was that there was no price increase on the iPhone 15 Pro whatsoever. So still that 128 gigabyte model still comes in at $999 US, and it's exactly the same price as the last year's iPhone 14 Pro. So that's really good to hear. Then for colors, it's all changed this year because of that titanium look. So last year we did have the silver, space black, gold and deep purple, but this year we've got brand new colors on that titanium finish, what are black, white, the blue and natural titanium color look. So with that, which iPhone will you be buying? And there we have it, guys. That is all the sort of main sort of spec changes that we have. So it definitely does seem that the iPhone 15 Pro does have quite a few upgrades this year. Obviously, we have that new titanium look, the new chipset, but we also, at the same time as well, got an increased sort of 8 gigabytes of RAM inside, what is pretty cool. And of course, we also have USB-C at the bottom. So the big question is though, guys, will you be upgrading this year, like I said a second ago, or not? I would love to know. So put it down in the comments below. And also at the same time, guys, as well, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews, and comparisons like this one, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I will see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.